Hi everyone. It looks like this has been successful this time, so hopefully you will see us pop up on the screen in a couple of seconds. But I am Lizbeth Ortega. To introduce myself, you may have seen me on Slack and other places like the Student Handbook or on live streams like this. And this is Arpan. Introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Arpan, one of your instructors, and if you've peeked into the classroom in the past hour or so that you've gained access to it, you might have seen me there with David and Luis and Dhruv. We're here to make your experience fruitful and engaging, and the purpose of this session is to go over the main sort of components of the program and then answer any questions you might have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think, looks like it is successful, so that's great. So yeah, and at the end, we'll take your questions, but we're gonna start with a classroom tour, which we'll do with some fancy Google Hangout screen sharing. So you're gonna get to see my screen really quickly. Let me start that now.
Fingers crossed this works well first time.
Let's see, so let me close this. Okay, so here we are. And Arpan, maybe you can just sort of give us a look at what it'll look like for students coming in on the first day, kind of like what the layout is, how do they navigate, and like where they can find the important things that they need to know.
Sure. So this is your classroom, or this is about what you should be seeing. You can ignore some of the due dates that show up because we're using an account that has a different date timeline set to it. The due dates you see will be accurate according to your own cohort. So the first lesson is welcome to the AI Nanodegree, where we'll explain to you the different services that are available along with what you're seeing here in the classroom. So make sure you go through that and understand them properly. For instance, you have forums where you can ask questions and have discussions with your peers and instructors like me. You have classroom mentors who will appear. We'll assign them through the first week.
Yes.
So once your classroom mentor is assigned, you can chat with them in your classroom and explain to them if you have anything that you're blocked on and how you can move forward.
Where can you show us? Actually, I don't know if I have that ability here, but I can try. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so if you go into this first lesson, in one of these notes called support walkthrough, there's a small GIF showing you what it should look like. I mean, obviously, if it doesn't, let us know, but you should have access to classroom mentorship in your classroom. As I mentioned forums before, and we'll take a closer look at the forums just in a second. But you also have a Slack community, which I'm hoping most of you are part of. If you're not, please join in. We'll hold all our office hours there. So myself, David, and some of the other content creators will be available online during specific times of the week to answer any questions you might have, to help you sort of resolve any issues you're having with working on your projects, etc. And also definitely use that Slack channel to chat with your peers and interact with others. The biggest and most important component of your Nanodegree experience is likely going to be the project and review experience. So whenever you complete your project, you get to submit it through our review system, and you get actionable feedback from expert reviewers who have trained on these individual projects. So make sure you use that as much as you need. And we also have a way for you to give us feedback on how the course is going, if there are any bugs or issues with the content or projects, and you'll find more information here on how to post them. Cool. That's the general walkthrough of, I guess, the services that are associated with the program. Mm-hmm. If you continue down, you'll see your first lesson is on setting up Anaconda, which is a Python distribution, because all our projects are going to be in Python, and Anaconda comes prepackaged with all the numeric and scientific libraries that you'll need. So go ahead and install that right away on your system so you can start working on your projects. And then the first sort of teaching lesson is basically how to solve a Sudoku by writing an AI agent. Go through that lesson. It has an associated project with it. You'll see your correct due date here. It should be due 7 days from today. Make sure you try to submit before that due date. In case you're not able to make it, that is okay. It's not a hard deadline. All you need to make sure is that you pass all your projects before the end of the term, right? And then once you submit that first project, you'll get to experience what the review system feels like and what kind of reviews you're getting from your reviewers and how you can iterate on it. And then moving on from there, you'll have a bunch of other lessons, including more general introduction to AI, and then onward with the rest of the curriculum. But let's maybe take a quick break here and see if you have any questions till this part.
Yeah, so let's see. Kind of going back to the part when you were talking about office hours and Slack and like joining Slack. Actually, I could probably pull this up really quickly. Okay, so actually, so students, if they're wondering when office hours might be, what's the way that they can find out? I think we send email, right?
Yeah.
Also, and a forums post.
Yep.
So maybe we can show really quickly like where to find that. Here. So you would click menu to find forums, and then click right here where the mouse is going crazy. And then it'll lead you over here into discussions, which is part of Udacity's platform. And is this right?
Yeah.
This one. So you'll see this on your screen, and then you can click through to what you want to look for. So we normally make the announcements. Is it, do you know where it is?
In the announcements in the AIMD project.
So I'm going to open up that separately so we don't lose this.
It should be blank right now.
Yeah, so it's your class's first week, so you haven't seen one yet. But David normally makes a post on Friday morning, and he's over in Georgia, so that's East Coast time. So morning East Coast time, you'll see that pop up in this area. And what are the kind of things he covers in those announcements?
Yeah, so we understand that it can become really sort of confusing sometimes in online programs like this, where you have several different modules and projects going on. Students do tend to progress either a little faster or slower and are at different places. And it's hard to keep track of what you need to do. So the main purpose of these weekly announcements is to highlight these are the things, these are the lessons you need to complete this week. This is the project that is going to be due soon, so make sure that you're working on it. And any other relevant pieces of information that come up, either through discussions on the forums or on Slack or during office hours, we might notice like, hey, this concept wasn't very clear to students, so here is an extended explanation of that. We're also doing Q&As with some additional folks like Sebastian Thrun from time to time. So when we have those ready, we'll announce them as well. So like Elizabeth mentioned, you should see them once a week, typically Friday mornings, and we'll make sure that we email that to you as well so you don't miss them.
Yeah, so make sure to keep an eye on your inbox. I know it's easy to miss emails. So if you're not getting them, let us know. You can write to our support. Our support's at AI-support@udacity.com. You can find that in the handbook and like so much more information that we are like verbally telling you now. But that's all in the handbook, and you got that in an email today and also a couple days ago. Is there anything else in the classroom that we should take a look at? I don't know if there's like tabs, secret tabs around here, or
secret tabs.
secret tabs. I know there's resource tabs. Do we make use of that in this Nanodegree?
Yes. I mean, depending on the particular lessons. So let me jump in and see if I can start with Sudoku, because this is what you'll probably be spending most of your first week on. All right. So if you look on the left-hand side, you have this sidebar that pops up, which lists all the pages that are in this lesson, and you can go through them one by one. In addition to that, you have this resources tab, where if there are additional resources, you'll see them here. If not anything else, you'll at least see a video downloadable. So if you want to watch the videos offline or download them in bulk, depending on your internet connection, that might be a better choice than trying to watch them online. You can do that here. Going back to these lessons, so you'll notice that there's a small check mark against some of these pages. So this basically tracks your progress, which ones you've completed, so you can come back and resume where you left off. Another thing I'd point out is that the lessons are made of both videos as well as a lot of text-based content, like this page where we're explaining to you how Sudoku works, which some of you might know, but also giving you detailed instructions on the project that you need to complete. In addition to these text and image and video content, there are also a number of quizzes throughout the program. Make sure you complete them. They're not really, graded or necessary for completing the projects, but they're a good way to check your own understanding of the concepts. Many of the quizzes will look like this. Might have multiple choice or a fill in the blank, but then we also have some programming quizzes. Let me scroll down to one. So this is what a programming quiz typically looks like. You have a small code editor with one or more files, and some instructions will be there around these to let you know what you need to complete and how to run it. So basically, once you implement your function or the commands that it asks for, you can click test run to run the program, and you'll get your output right here. You can also, once you're happy with it, you can submit answer, and then we'll run additional tests to make sure that your solution works fine. And at least for the Sudoku project, it's really important to complete all of these quizzes, because then the project becomes really easy. You can take your solutions and basically copy them to your project solution, maybe make a few small modifications, and they'll help you move along.
Okay. One question that I've heard students ask in the past is if they can resubmit their project. So how does that all work? Like when they submit and then they realize they have an improvement, can they resubmit? And does that mean they have to wait a little longer, or how does that process go?
Sure. So typically, if you submit and pass a project, we don't allow you to submit again because you've passed it. If you do have improvements to make after that, you can definitely share those with your classroom mentor who can give you feedback on it. If you submit your project and it doesn't pass any rubric criteria, then the reviewer will point that out, and then you can submit again. And you can potentially submit as many times as you want, but keep in mind that every time you submit, it might go to a new reviewer, because the review system is sort of distributed, and you might have explained to them, these are the comments you got the last time, and this is how you're resolving it. So try to get done in as few reviews as you can, but yeah, you can resubmit your solution.
Okay. Yeah, and there might be questions around deadlines. We did touch on it a little bit, but I actually show where you can see deadlines. So in the handbook, we do note if you want to see what the actual deadline dates are, and this will vary from student to student. So if you're in the January class, your deadlines will show differently in the classroom than if you're in the February class. I am enrolled in a mystery cohort class, so mine shows that I'm already 17 days late, but that's not right for you guys. You guys are actually, yours is due next week, right?
Yeah.
So yours will show due in 7 days.
You can show them the next project, which might have, it'll show a date, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah. So this one is due in 4 days. And then if it's due more than a week, I guess, then it will actually show a date.
Okay. Yeah, and if anyone has questions around that, around the specific dates, or if they're not sure, feel free to message me on Slack, or you can also message our support. Our support's a little speedier, I will say, surprisingly, because I do get a lot of Slack messages, but I try to get back to you as fast as I can. Okay, and then, yeah, so you'll see the dates there. Those are suggested deadlines, but they're there for a reason. I mean, basically, they're there to show what kind of schedule you need to be on in order to stay on track to graduate. So if you do fall behind, you won't be penalized, but you do run the risk of like getting off track to actually being able to complete on time. Completing on time, I can clarify what that means. So the end of the term, you'll see at the bottom of the classroom, you'll see the date down there. Which is right here, term ending. I don't think that's the right date.
That's for January.
Okay, yeah, that's not the right date for you guys, but you'll see it at the bottom of your classroom. And you'll want to pay attention to that because that's the date that you need to submit all of the projects in on time. And graduating means submitting it on time before the end of term date, and then also passing those as a result. Yeah, so you'll see like more information about that in the handbook in case you're not sure. You can always reach out to us if you have questions about that. Should we answer questions from the chat? I think we should because I think we're gonna end kind of soon. So we do have a few questions here. If I can scroll, let's see. So we do have some questions about mentors. People are asking where they can find, we did show this, but we can show it again. It was in the introduction lesson, showed you how to do it. Where to find the mentor tab. So I actually don't have it in my view of the classroom, but we have it here. If you want to go into the first lesson, it'll show you where you can find that. And it'll be a panel
on the right-hand
side. And it looks like a chat, and basically you can have a one-on-one chat with your mentor there. You'll find out who your mentor is a little bit later today, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just to point out, that mentor will be there with you throughout the term. So, you can share with them how you're making progress, what kind of difficulties you're having.
Yeah, Kumar had a question. Are there times for them to reach out to us, or is it accessible at any time?
I think it's the mentorship tool is accessible at any time, but different mentors will be in different time zones. So sometimes they might take a little bit of time to respond to you. You can build a sort of schedule with them, with your own mentor. You can ask them like, hey, can you be available during this time window so that you can have one-on-one chats?
Okay, let's see. Checking out for more questions. Somebody, Akbar just asked, is the deadline for the last project the deadline for all the projects?
No, you will have a buffer. I believe it's of 2 weeks after the deadline for the last project. So if you by chance have not passed any of the previous projects, you get that time to complete them.
Correct. And you can see what that final date is at the very bottom of the classroom, yes. Like we just showed a couple minutes ago. What is the difference ND plus career support? What is the difference between ND plus or Nanodegree plus career support and artificial intelligence Nanodegree career support?
So I don't think the artificial intelligence Nanodegree has those separate tracks of ND and ND plus. It's the same level of support, career support that we provide. Basically, we will not in term 1, you won't see a whole lot of career-based content here, but in term 2, you will have projects to get your resume reviewed, your LinkedIn profile reviewed, and we'll work with our career advisors to, improve your portfolio and figure out what kind of jobs you can apply to. And in addition to that, we have hiring partners. You might want to talk about that a little bit, whom we have sort of requested to consider our students, and they have agreed to sort of give your applications a closer look. based on your performance in the Nanodegree.
Yeah, actually, and we do have a career support section here. Let's open it up. Oh, it's a video. But that'll give you an introduction to what career support is, and this is in the very first lesson in your classroom, so you can catch up on like what that's all about and what kind of services are offered from our careers team. But yeah, to speak a little more to hiring partners, we have I don't know the exact number of hiring partners for this program, but our team will connect you directly to recruiters from the hiring partners via your Udacity profile. And that's something you can learn more about in this lesson and in lessons in the future in term 2, like Arpan mentioned. But the way that works is you go into your Udacity profile, and that's where your projects from your classroom will be displayed. So once they're completed, they will be auto-updated there. And then you can turn on recruiter access. You'll see a button on the left side of your Udacity profile. I can actually pull that up so you can see what that looks like. I remember what the URL is. Is it profiles? Okay, there we go. So you can find it at profiles.udacity.com. And this is where your profile is. So you'll see your name, you can add your resume, your projects will be listed there. And if you want to make yourself discoverable to recruiters, you want to hit this button right here. I'm not currently searching, so mine is off. But if you do turn that on, that means that when the time comes, you give us permission to share your profile with recruiters who are hiring directly from the companies that have partnered with us. So you do have this extra edge above other candidates because our hiring partners know exactly what you're studying, they know exactly the kinds of projects you've succeeded at, and they know the curriculum. So what else? Let's see. Let's look at more questions here. Kieran is asking, do you release all lessons on day 1?
For the January cohort, we did not release all of the content on day 1. We're just releasing the last third of term 1 now. But for you, I think everything should be ready pretty soon. If not right now, it should be all up in the first week or so.
Okay. And Victor is asking, are there any grades?
There are no grades on these projects, but each project has a bunch of different rubric points that you need to pass. So as soon as you pass all of those rubric points, then you pass the entire project.
Okay, and Rami is asking, what is the estimated number of hours that's required?
It really depends on your background and your preparation, whether you have the prerequisites or not. A rough estimate is somewhere between 10 and 15 hours a week on average. But if you, for instance, need to review or refresh some of the more prerequisite concepts like probability and statistics, then you might have to spend some additional time on it.
Okay, and let's see. Do students get access to all the hiring partners, or only the ones that are in the artificial intelligence Nanodegree program? So I think the question is, so Udacity has hiring partners across various programs or across the company. So there are certain hiring partners that are more inclined and specific to AI, to the artificial intelligence Nanodegree program. So you do get access to the certain partners that are across Udacity, and then additionally the ones that are specific to AI. Hopefully that sounds a little confusing, but hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, I think when we bring hiring partners on board, we show them what we're teaching in each of these programs, and depending on that, they decide whether that skill set is something that is applicable to them or not.
And let's stop screen sharing so you guys can see us. Okay. Somebody is asking when it'll be accessible on the discussion forums. I know we're about to open those pretty soon? In the
Yeah,
next couple
the
hours?
forums should be open like either right now or in the next couple of hours. If you don't see them by like the end of day today or something like that, then definitely write into AI-support so we can sort it out just in case there's something wrong with your enrollment or something like that. But yeah, give us a couple of hours.
And somebody's asking, so Kiyohito is asking, how do I know which hiring partners are hiring in which country?
That's a good question. You want to hear that?
Sure. So when we do have a hiring partner who is hiring for a specific position, the way that we do it is that we will have the listings and we'll share them with the students that, so like, let's say that the position is asking for a certain set of skills, and let's say your class is like ideal for that set of skills. We'll share that with your class, and anyone interested can respond to us, and we'll take that list of students and share it with, oops, sorry about that. We'll share it with the hiring partner. But so basically you'll see the listing and it'll show where that's hiring, and we'll share that information with you. So like any other position you'll see online or listed somewhere, it'll say. And there's all kinds of positions. Sometimes they will consider hiring remotely, sometimes they will relocate people, so keep that in mind too.
Another source of employment is Udacity Blitz, which hopefully by the time you come out of the program, graduate from the program, we'll try to have more and more machine learning and AI related projects on there as well. It's basically a freelancing platform that Udacity has put together, and we highly encourage our students to look up sort of available projects there, and that could be one way of getting into it.
So Rod Bruno is asking, can we work ahead?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Staying ahead is not a bad thing at all. Just keep in mind that all the classroom discussions on forums and elsewhere will probably take place roughly around the schedule that we specify. Which means if you have questions on some of the advanced lessons, you can ask them on the forums, but it'll be better for the overall class's experience if you hold on to them till we get around to that point. Because imagine that you ask about something and other students who are further behind come on the forums, and sometimes they can be confused. Oh, was I supposed to complete this lesson this week or not? But yeah, I mean, there's no problem in working
ahead. Can you answer this one? How in depth? Harrison L is asking, how in depth does this program go into the mathematics behind these AI techniques?
It's I would say somewhere in the middle of it's somewhere in the middle of being a completely applied program versus a completely theoretical program. What you'll often see is an introduction to the fundamental concepts that are being used in these AI techniques, and then you get to use popular libraries, SDKs, or state-of-the-art APIs to complete different AI-related tasks.
Okay. K Pepper is asking, who are the mentors? Are they previous students or other instructors?
So like our reviewers, our mentors are also a community of people who are either experts in the field or have completed the program before, or a related program. So instructors might pop in as mentors from time to time, but the classroom mentors specifically are from a different population.
Okay, and then a writer is asking, can we request to switch mentors? What if what if we don't find our mentor to be helpful? Yes, we've actually seen requests. It's not something that we can do for everyone, but for example, if you are an extreme, time difference from your mentor and it's not working out, we've been able to make one-off changes, but we actually, spoiler alert, are introducing something that will hopefully solve those kind of problems. But if you do have a question about your mentor, you can email us at support. So that's ai-support@udacity.com. You can also find that email in the handbook that we emailed today. Let's see. Do you know this one?
Yes, so there's a question about whether there will be English subtitles during the lesson videos. Subtitles take a little bit of time to get generated. Like we have an online service, a team of incredibly efficient folks going through all our videos and transcribing them. For you all, I'm guessing that most lessons will have subtitles by the time you start. If not, they should start appearing like in a week or two.
Okay, so I'm finishing, so this is from Prabhat. I'm finishing my machine learning nanodegree, finishing up my final capstone project. Do you recommend me to start applying for jobs now or wait to complete this nanodegree?
Thank you for coming back to Udacity, first of all. It depends on the kind of job you want. So if you went through the machine learning program and you like machine learning in general, want a job in that space, definitely go ahead and start applying for jobs. There's, there's nothing to lose there. Even if you don't end up putting as much effort into it, that whole experience of going through interviews and, getting that feedback from recruiters is going to be valuable for you. If you have gone through machine learning and you want to wait to explore a broader range of AI-related fields, then yes, you can wait. Depending on the program you signed up for, there might be like a 6-month deadline after graduation, during which period you'll get career support for ML&D. But then if you're in the AI&D program, you'll get that career support through AI&D as well, so you won't need to worry about it.
And we'll wrap up with these next 3 questions. We have one from Tima. Any plans on developing the iPhone app further so I can use it for this ND? Because he'd love to use it during his daily commute.
Yeah, I know this is a big ask from a lot of our students. So what has happened is most of our traditional Nanodegree programs and courses are not term-based, and they have been available on our iPhone and iOS and Android apps for a long time. But self-driving car, AI, and I believe deep learning foundations are term-based programs, and they're right now not supported on the mobile apps, right? As of today. I know that the team is working on bringing it there. For the time being, you could sort of download the videos onto your mobile phone and watch them as during your commute. But definitely make sure to come back to class and go through all the quizzes and other content.
Okay, and we have a couple of requests for recommended materials or books, specifically around math or just to assist with, to read alongside maybe with the program.
Sure. So for math and other prerequisites, Khan Academy is a great resource. They have nice modules or classes on probability and statistics, linear algebra and calculus that you can brush up on. As far as the material in the course is concerned, you'll find optional readings that are associated with most of the lessons, so you can refer to those. Many of the readings will be from Russell and Norvig's AI book, Artificial Intelligence: A Modern Approach. It's not a recommended textbook. It's not a compulsory textbook, but it is highly recommended. If you are planning to complete this program and then also study further in AI, it's a great resource. It's a great reference. There are some parts of that book that are used in at least 1 or 2 of the projects, and we've made available sort of online PDFs with those individual parts, so you don't need to buy the book, but that's one option. We'll share with you additional resources through the program.
Okay, and I'm also typing them into the YouTube chat momentarily. But yeah, I think, let's see this one. Should we try this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so Victor asks, after this AI program, is there any other AI program to further one's knowledge in the field of AI?
Sure. So like the way this AI&D program is structured, your first term is about foundations, the foundational concepts that you'll find helpful throughout different application areas. And then the second term, concentrations, is about taking these foundational concepts and then applying them to different application areas. One thing we're trying to do right now is to build in a lot of deep learning into the second term. So you get additional tools to tackle problems in different application areas. The ones we're targeting right now are natural language processing, computer vision, and speech recognition or voice user interfaces. But one thing you can think of is then what else can you apply AI to, and then take additional courses or do additional projects in those disciplines. You can also look at the other programs we have at Udacity, including Deep Learning Foundations and Self-Driving Car and Machine Learning, to progress more focusedly in those directions.
Okay, and then I saw one more good question, and then we'll wrap up. Where was it? Oh, okay, from DW, will there be an option to take the second term a second, whoops, it just scrolled away. To take the second term a second or even a third time, but in separate specializations?
Yes, that's again one of the things that has been a very common ask from students. When we started designing the program, we basically thought that we should provide you with one sort of fundamental term, and then at least one sort of concentration of your own choice. And that completes the requirement for the Nanodegree itself. But if you want to expand your knowledge and expand your horizons into other disciplines, then definitely you can enroll in another term, pick a different specialization, and complete that, and so on. I don't know if we have the mechanism for that built in right now, but hopefully by the time that becomes, by the time you need it, we should have it in place.
Cool. Well, thank you, Arpan, so much
Thanks, Lisbeth,
for being here. And everyone
else.
Yeah, everyone who showed up and asked questions. And if we have any more questions, there are many places to ask them. I would start out on forums. That's where you'll get a guaranteed answer. Same with Mentor, your Mentor channel. Those are both great places to ask questions about the actual curriculum and the actual coursework that you're going through. If there's something logistic, like for example, if you're experiencing a glitch in the classroom or you have a question about your enrollment, you can email our support. Again, you'll find that address in the handbook. Or you can reach out on Slack to the many students that are there. You also have the January class that are in there and have been through all of this. So they can also answer your questions potentially. And that's it. Thank you.
Cool.
We'll see you next time.